Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube. Ren here. I am not showing my face this month because I am sick. I'm doing okay right now because I just took a very long, very hot shower, but I have a cold. You may be able to hear it in my voice at some point. It's nothing serious, it's just annoying, but it is a cold. I didn't want to put this off any longer though, because then we would be in March and you wouldn't get a February tour. Some of you may have noticed that I haven't put out a lot of videos recently. I'll talk about that at the end if you care to stick around, but if you're just here for the garden tour, that's what we're doing right now. So it is February. It's February 21st is the day that I'm filming this. You'll see this coming up the following day on my YouTube channel. But February is usually pretty mild here in Virginia. As you can see, I have some crocuses blooming. There are other things that are blooming as well. In the front, I actually have my hyacinths popping up and my iris reticulata, and we'll see the narcissus tatate later on as well. It has been a very mild winter. We haven't had any snow yet. It can still happen. I've seen it happen as late as mid-March, but we have not had any snow thus far this year. Temperatures have been pretty mild too. We've only ever really had one bout of time where the temperature dropped down into like the 15 or so. I wasn't here at that time. That was over the holidays when I was in Chicago. But yeah, like I haven't even bothered to protect a lot of my plants this winter. It was one of those things where it's like, well, I'll do it if the weather forecast looks bad, and it hasn't looked bad. So we got, as you can see, along this bed here, there's a lot of little crocuses that I planted in here. There's also a little bit of paper towel that probably blew out of my recycling or my compost, one or the other. It is windy today, so birds were here at the bird bath. That bird bath needs to be cleaned out, but look, we've got blueberries are starting to put their buds out, so they're ready for the spring. My little wattle fence is going to need to be replaced. There's a lot of stuff that's going to need to be cleaned up for the spring, but we'll see. Herb bed here, you can see the chives are starting to pop back up. I also have a lot of mint that's starting to spread here, and of course my little springtime weeds. That right there is speedwell. So those of you who remember my Ostara tea recipe may remember that speedwell is one of the ingredients in that. So sage made it through the winter. I'm excited about that. Thyme made it through the winter. More excitement. My hollyhock made it through the winter. That's super cool. So the two mullein plants are still there as well. Roses need to be trimmed. This tree, this is my Chunanthus. Yeah, there's some pruning that's going to need to be done. So not a lot, but you can see, like this one right here. Oh, geez. I don't know if you can see that. See where that's already kind of left a mark on the bark there? This branch needs to be removed so that it's not rubbing against that other branch anymore. So that's the kind of pruning that we're going to need to do. Just, pruning for health. The shape is pretty okay, honestly. I don't need to really shape this one up anymore. It's just little, removing anything that could be problematic in the future. So veggie beds are fallow right now. I still have a lot of the weeds and crap in them. Except, of course, this one does have some cold hardy stuff. So you can see my parsley plants are starting to pop back. These will bolt this year because they were last year's plants, but I should be getting some new plants to replace them as well. And then, of course, my scallions, my perpetual scallions there. This bed right here, I'm going to have to replant some asparagus because I really only have this one plant that actually survived. So, and you can see the squirrels have been really digging in here. Their dumb little squirrel brains. This little corner here, I don't really take you back here very much because, as you can see, this is a mess. This is a mess. This is where I store my compost and just throw a bunch of crap that I don't know what else to do with. But I do have, oh, look at that. I have a nettle planted back here, and it is coming back, and it's looking very nice. Probably in another week or two, I'll be able to harvest some nettle leaves from that. So that's exciting. Strawberries are looking pretty dormant right now. I don't see a lot of new growth in there. The crowns are there. They're fine. They're just kind of hanging out, chilling. This is another big pruning project right here. This apple tree needs to be pruned. You can see, like, this thing. What the heck is this? What is this branch doing? What is that? yeah, no, that's got to go. That can't be that. That can't be like that. So, and then this one too, like it's got some kind of whippy stuff here that needs to be just kind of pruned down. Here's another one. Look at this. What is this branch doing? What is that? That's got to go. No, you can't do that. And there's also some stuff here, like you can see this one just broke at some point. So that's got to go as well. Just be pruned right at that collar there so it will heal properly. And then this one right here mostly just needs to have all these, like, the perpetual struggle against these little water sprouts that need to come out, you know, because those are not good, healthy growth for the tree. We don't want branches that look like this. You know, they're straight and they have no spurs on them. We want branches that look like this. Like it's a nice, thick, strong branch with lots of little spurs on them, because all of these little tiny pokey branches will produce flower buds that will turn into fruit. So that's what we want to see. Alright, here's my narcissus over here. The Tate-a-Tates are going gangbusters right now. So they're happy. They're happy. This needs to be cleaned up. There is sweetgrass under here. It's hiding amongst the other grass, but like this right here, that's sweetgrass right there. So there's other grass that needs to be pulled out so it doesn't compete with the sweetgrass. But yeah. And you can see my hydrangea in the back is hanging in there. It still has some of the winter growth on it. You know, that color changed growth. Here, let's actually go back here. But look at this. It's got new buds coming out behind the old leaves from last year. So that is exciting. This is the first plant I've actually managed to keep in that spot continually that actually survived, so I'm excited about that. Yes, blackberries are going to need to be pruned out. Like this whole thing right here, you can see this. This was last year's. That is dead. Dead as a doornail. That needs to go so that the new stuff can grow in. Couple more mullein over here volunteered themselves, so a lot of stuff that's just kind of dormant. A lot of weeds that need to be cleaned up. It's a big project getting this cleaned up in the spring. We'll see if I'm up to the challenge. So stuff in the pots is doing okay though. So you can see here, this is my horseradish that's popping up new, and then of course some weeds that need to come out. This is that henbit? No, that's dead nettle. That's dead nettle. You have plenty of other places to grow dead nettle, and there's some in here with my rosemary too. This rosemary is not looking very happy. This whole section is dead. This part is still alive, but this part here is dead, so I'm going to prune this back. Sorry, I'm not looking through the camera, I'm just looking through my own eyes. My apologies. But yeah, you can see the rosemary is not very happy, so I may end up just completely replacing that. We'll see. The hyssop though is doing really well. Look at how much growth it still has on it. So that one's doing all right. And of course the lavender looks really good too. You know, it's a little dried. You know, it always kind of goes dormant over the winter time, but it's still looking okay. This sage may be dead. We'll see what happens in a few weeks, but I have a feeling that one's dead, which is fine. I still have another sage plant over there, so. The roses are actually putting out new growth too. Look at this. Look at all this new leaves on the roses. So that's cool. This Amelanchier has been dead. I need to pull this out this spring. The rue's doing all right. It's hanging in there. It's got, you know, a lot of the old growth on there is kind of starting to die back, but you can see the new stuff is starting to fill in. And look at this. Look at 2 of my 3 Lunaria plants are still here. So that's exciting. I might actually get them to bloom this year. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Oh, this is doing really well too. Look at all the new growth on this one. That's my Ebbtide rose, which is a Floribunda rose. I'm very excited about that one. Supposedly the flowers get darker as it gets more mature, so theoretically it can, you know, give me some really dark kind of purple roses. So we'll see. We'll see. Not a whole lot going in here. A lot of stuff is still very, very dormant in here. Let me see, do you have anything popping up in here yet? This is my Solomon seal. Nope, you can see the roots there. So, no new growth yet, but the roots are there, and they're hanging in. Lungwort, of course, is always an overachiever. Why are you blooming so early? This started blooming in January, like end of January. This was blooming, so it's crazy. Here's my gardenias. They're a little bit frost nipped. You can see here they got a little bit of frost nip, but it's not too bad. You know, they're of a good size now, where they kind of like are able to kind of shelter themselves. So that's good. Let me see, what's this hydrangea doing back here? This hydrangea may have died back to the ground again. I probably should have covered that up. Oh, there's one. There's a couple. There's a couple. There's one. That's got one. That's got one. Okay, so there's still some new growth on there. Some of those probably need to be pruned out, but some of those are okay. So, oh, and you can see my hellebores. Oh, pretty much at their peak right now. This is the best time of year for them. Look at that nice looking hellebore. So, and there's also, look at this. That's all new growth, little hellebore seedlings right there. All through there. That's all last year's seed that I didn't pick up. Look at what else is blooming. Look at that. That's my snowdrops. Galanthus. Finally decided to bloom for me. It didn't bloom last year. I was kind of worried about it, but it looks like it just needed to get acclimated to its new spot. This guy's starting to put out leaves, and I can see some flower buds as well, so that will be blooming soon. Also have some of the larger, the pink daffodils are starting to show themselves. Okay, I don't know where that cut off, but we're gonna just figure it out. But anyway, yeah, my son came over and took out some of the little trees that were growing in this area, which was a big help to me. So this area is now cleared out. I do need to figure out, I still need to figure out what I'm going to put in that space right there. I've tried a couple of things, it hasn't been successful. I don't know, I still need to just kind of figure this out. And then of course this needs to be pruned as well, because this rose is like way overgrown. And it's growing into my path around the pond, and I don't want that. So, speaking of the pond, you can see it's looking pretty sad right now. My pond pump may be dead. I had my husband unplug it for the winter when he went down there to change out some of the stuff in the crawl space, and he was like, well, I can unplug it, but it doesn't look like it's running. And I'm like, crap. So we'll see. I'm gonna clean it, you know, when the time comes and it's a little warmer. I'm gonna clean this whole pond out, and I'll see if maybe it was just clogged up with some gunk. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's what the problem was. But we're gonna find out. But yeah, there's a lot that's gonna need. You can see there's some of the rocks have kind of like slid down around the little waterfall box there, and yeah, I am honestly not even sure that the fish are still alive in there. I don't know if they've made it through the winter or not. It's always kind of a gamble, but I figured they got a better life here for summer in my pond than they would have at the pet store. So anyway, yep, things are popping up, things are moving along. Look at how nice that moss looks. I always love this moss around the rocks here. Lots of cleaning to be done. Pruning is the #1 priority, getting these things pruned up. Look, here's another one that's like, why are you crossed like that? No, you can't do that. So this will be pruned like right here, and it'll send up growth this way, and this is just dead. And there's stuff that's like growing into my deck that needs to be pruned down, and yeah, so lots of pruning that needs to be done before much more of this growth happens, because we want to get this pruned before the plant starts putting too much energy into it. So But yeah, that's my big project for the rest of the month, basically, is just getting stuff cleaned up and prepared for the spring, which is really kind of the theme of In Bulk, you know? We're clearing ground, we are clearing out the things that no longer serve us, purifying, cleansing, getting rid of those things that are not beneficial to us in order to make room for the new growth that's going to happen around Ostara. So, anyway, I think that is all I can do for you today. Go back inside and drink some very, very hot tea. So anyway, oh, I was going to talk to y'all. That's right. Let's do this. Hang on. Let's get a good view of the Hellebores again. Let's do that. We'll talk while I look at the Hellebores. All right. So yes, I have been absent. Hopefully things are kind of going to settle into a better routine. And also, you know, with the spring, there's more to do in the garden, so you'll be seeing more videos from me again. But it has been a rough winter. My spouse has been out on medical leave. Nothing serious, but just a back injury has really put them out. And, yeah, it's kind of like cramped my whole like mojo that I have at home. So there's that. There's also the fact that I'm now working night shifts as well at work, which is really throwing me off more than anything, honestly, because my body does not like it. I have a medical condition where I take medications that basically dictate my whole like energy and sleep-wake cycle and everything. Like, my whole metabolism is based on these medications that I take, and when I have to switch over to night shift, because it's not just me working night shift, it's me working rotating. So most of the time I work days, but every once in a while I have to work a night shift. It's fucking hard. It's real hard on my body. So I actually have an appointment with my endocrinologist in March, and we will talk about whether that's actually a good idea for me to do, or whether I need to get a medical exemption to get out of working nights. But until I have a note from my doctor, like, I'm stuck working nights if I want to keep my job. So that kind of sucks. And then finally, like, the little cherry on this Sunday that I've been served is my computer died. My computer was just a goner. So I've just now got set up with a new computer. It's a pretty sweet rig, like, don't get me wrong, like, it was a much needed upgrade, but in the interim it meant that I don't have, I didn't have any way to, like, edit or process my videos, and I've also lost, like, a lot of the videos that I kind of had, like, in progress. They're just gone, and if I want to make those videos, I have to start over again from scratch, which kind of sucks, but you know what? It is what it is. So we all just keep on keeping on. I'm still probably not going to be going back to the video every week like I used to do, but you can expect to see one maybe every 2 weeks from me. So just FYI, I'm doing well. I'm fine. Things are fine. There's always a kind of a, you know, borderline crisis in the house, but, you know, that's life, isn't it? Like, that's how we all live, basically, is just kind of stumbling from one thing to the next, hoping that things will get better, and then sometimes they do, and then they get worse again, and, you know, you just kind of live for the good days and get through the bad days. So anyway, that's what I got for you. I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.